morning. On behalf of Hindu Center of Virginia, I'd like to welcome everyone for this yoga fundraiser. My name is Kedar Thuta. We all know the benefits of yoga. The benefits of yoga has been well documented throughout history, and we started Bharathi yoga classes 10 years back when we built the new temple, and the temple moved to, like all the deities moved to the new building. The community all opened up for us to start yoga classes. So, Mr. Ravi Menon has been conducting the classes here, and all the proceeds of these yoga classes go to the Hindu Center, and it's a good way for us to generate income for the temple. We've been doing this yoga, and every year we have, we do conduct International Day of Yoga, and then this is another opportunity for us to kind of showcase what the students have learned, and also our hope is to inspire new folks to join this class. Even if you don't join, please consider practicing yoga at home. Sudhakarji, he mentioned that he came here for International Day of Yoga and he joined. So hope we will have a few more students for this Bharathi yoga classes. As I mentioned earlier, this is the 10th year, and we've been conducting the classes for 10 years, and our temple has been built 10 years back. We're celebrating the 10th anniversary of this month. One of the donors, one of the community members, he came forward to match any donations that's going to go towards operations in the yoga fundraiser. He's going to match it. So if any donation that you give us in the next week, it will be matched by this donor. So please consider donating generously for the temple and for the yoga fundraiser. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Ravi Menon. He is the director of the Bharathi Yoga.
Thank you very much, Kedar. Namaste and welcome to everyone who's watching this on YouTube. So as Kedar mentioned, we have been conducting the classes here for almost 10 years. Next March it will complete 10 years. And many students at different levels have already started participating and enjoying the benefits of yoga. Today what we have planned is a live session in the morning, which will start in a few minutes, followed by a break from 12 to 2, and at 2 o'clock we will have a recorded session of videos which were sent in. So right now what we are going to do is we are going to do chanting. All of us, the students who are here, will be chanting the beginning chants that we conduct when we conduct the classes. This is the beginning chanting, followed by Surya Namaskar practice, which we will be doing on stage. Following that, at 9 a.m., we will start with individual yoga demonstrations, and that will go back to back, and I will come back and talk a little bit more at that time. Thank you very much, and I hope you like the session, and please support the temple, support yoga, and enjoy the benefits of yoga. Thank you very much. Start chanting.
संभोमनांसि जानतां देवा भागं यथा पूर्वे संजानाना उपासते Sanjanana upasate, Sanjanana upasate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste, welcome to everyone. We are now going to start Surya Namaskar practice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring arms to heart center. Om Mitraya Namaha.
Om Mitraya Namaha.
Om Ravaye Namaha.
Om Ravaye Namaha. Bhaskaraya Namaha.
Number 3. Om Mitraya Namaha.
Om Mitraya Namaha.
Om Ravaye Namaha.
Om Ravaye Namaha.
Om Suryaya Namaha.
Om Suryaya Namaha.
Om Bhanave Namaha.
Om Bhanave Namaha.
Om Khagaya Namaha.
Om Khagaya Namaha.
Om Pushne Namaha.
Om Pushne Namaha.
Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha.
Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha.
Om Marichaye Namaha.
Om Marichaye Namaha.
Om Adityaya Namaha.
Om Adityaya Namaha.
Om Savitre Namaha.
Om Savitre Namaha.
Om Arkaya Namaha.
Om Kaya Namaha.
Om Suryaya Namaha.
Om Suryaya Namaha.
Om Bhanave Namaha.
Om Bhanave Namaha.
Om Khagaya Namaha.
Om Khagaya Namaha.
Om Pushne Namaha.
Om Pushne Namaha.
Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha.
Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha.
Om Marichaye Namaha.
Om Marichaye Namaha.
Om Adityaya Namaha.
Om Adityaya Namaha.
Om Savitre Namaha.
Om Savitre Namaha.
Om Arkaya Namaha.
Om Kaya Namaha.
Om Bhaskaraya Namaha.
Om Bhaskaraya Namaha.
Round number 4, fast round. Om Mitraya Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaya Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityaya Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaya Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Marichaye Namaha. Adityaya Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkaya Namaha. Om Bhaskaraya Namaha. Move to the center of your mat. Om Shri
Om Shri
Savita
Savita
Surya Narayanaya Namaha. Balasana. Slow down the breathing. So Shavasana. Let's roll over to the left side into Anantasana. Release, roll over to the right side into Anantasana.
Now we will start the individual demonstrations.
Namaste. My name is Sri Lakshmi Sathirajan. I've been practicing yoga with Bharathi for the past 10 years. When I started, I had a 5-year-old, and my only concern was what do I do with the 5-year-old. Shraviji said bring him in, so both me and my son have been doing this along with Bharathi. So today I'm going to do a couple of sitting asanas. Let's start doing with Janu Sisha.
So Lakshmi is going to start with Janu Shirshasana, a forward bending asana, for which you always start in Dandasana. So she's right now in Dandasana position. She's bent one leg, one heel against the perineum, and the other leg is stretched up. Arms are stretching up right now. Then she's going to lean forward and hold the other foot as possible. She and everybody else in Bharathi Yoga do yoga according to their own ability, within your own limits, at your own physical level. That is the key of Bharathi Yoga. You are not pushed into the same mode. Everybody does it according to their own ability. So Janu Shirshasana, she's coming out of that. Inhaling, arms up. Now she's going to do the other side. Yoga is about balance. What we do on the right, we do on the left. We do a forward bend, we have to do a backward bend as well. So Janu Shirshasana. This asana at the physical level, the muscles in the back are stretching, muscles in the back of the thigh as well as the leg are stretching, and likewise the muscles in the front part of the body are contracting. And she's come out of the asana.
Going into Gomukhasana.
Lakshmi is now going to do Gomukhasana. So as you see, she has bent one knee, put the foot on the side near the hip. The other knee is also bent, and that foot is also aligned with the hip and this other first foot. So bring your hands up. And then one hand will be coming down and the other hand coming from up. So as you can see, her right knee is on the top right now, so the right hand, right elbow is on the top as well, and the left is coming from below. You can see she's got a good grasp now. The hands are grasping each other, clasping each other. And this is one of the original yogasanas from Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga Pradipika actually mentions Gomukhasana. It has a lot of effects, a lot of good effects, especially in the lower body region, near the Muladhara Chakra, Swadhisthana Chakra, and so on, and also the Manipura Chakra. We'll talk more about chakras later. So now she's going to do it on the other side. In yoga, you always have to repeat the asana that you do on one side to the other side, as I mentioned. So what she's doing now, she's cradling her leg. That gives her hip joint more flexibility as she gets into the asana. That really helps. Arms are up. Always inhaling as the arms go up. Now as you can see, She's brought her left elbow on the top and she's pushing down to get a little more flexibility in the elbow joint. And the right hand now is coming up from behind, and the two hands will join in the back, keeping the head free and looking straight to the front. Gomukasana literally means cow face pose. And as I said, it's one of the original asanas and one of the unique asanas in that it gives you a lot of effects for the digestive system, the reproductive urinary systems, and so on. She's coming out of the asana.
Going into Meru Dandasana.
Lakshmi is now going to do Meru Dandasana. So she's in front, always starting in Dandasana. Dandasana is a starting position for almost all the sitting asanas. So from Dandasana, she's bent her knees, placed the heels where the knees were, holding the big toe with the respective hand, leaning back, bringing the legs up, and separating them. This is Meru Dandasana. You can see it's a really fine depiction of this asana, where the knees are fully tightened, arms are fully tightened, and she's leaning back a little bit, and you can see her back is also straight. Merudanda is the spinal column. So this asana is called Merudandasana because it really receives a good stretch and extension, which really is beneficial. Merudanda, spinal column, is extremely important because that is the part of the body through which the nerves run, and more importantly in yoga, the nadis run. The main nadi, Sushumna nadi, runs through the spinal column, Merudanda. Now she is in the position called Ubhayahasta Palankushasana. So she's got both her feet together and holding the big toe still and keeping the knees, arms, and the back extended. Coming out of the asana now.
Going into Ekapata Shalabhasana.
Lakshmi is now going to do a backward bending asana called Shalabhasana, locust pose. Ekapada is one leg stretched out. So you can see she's lying down in the prone position, chin on the mat, legs together, feet together. She's tucking her hands in under the body so that gives her stability to do the asana. Inhaling with the breath inside, she's lifting one leg up. And it is supported by the other leg, other knees bent and supporting the extended leg. So in this asana, you get a really good backward bend all the way from the hips and the lower back and that your lumbar region. The lumbar region, the thighs and the pelvic region as well. He's repeating the asana on the other side now. So you can see her appearance right now is almost like a locust. Locust is an insect. So as you know, most of the asanas in yoga are named after nature. The insects, the animals, the fish, mountains, trees that you see in nature. That's how the ancient rishis and munis named the asanas. She's coming out of Shalabhasana basic version now. And now she's doing Shalabhasana with both legs straight. This is an advanced position where both her legs are extended and her trunk from the front is also being lifted.
Going into Dhanurasana.
And she's continuing with the backward bending practice. Next, she's going to do Dhanurasana, bow pose, where, as you see, she's bending her knees and grabbing her ankles right now. Grabbing her ankles. As you can see, inhaling with the breath inside. She's doing Saral Dhanurasana right now, where the lower body has been lifted. But what you don't see here, what she can see, she can experience, is that the legs are doing all the work. The legs are stretching and extending. Now she has lifted her trunk as well. So essentially her abdominal region is resting on the mat. Both the lower body and upper body are lifted. And again, this is a backward bending asana. She has come out of the asana now. Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you for your presentation. The next participant we have is Raji. She's coming on stage right now. Raji is a beginner intermediate level student. As you can see, we are trying to follow all the COVID-19 restrictions, so we wear the masks as we come up. But during the posture itself, we don't wear the mask because then it becomes hard to manage and control the breathing.
My name is Raji, and I'm learning yoga from Ravi Menon for 2 years, and I'm in between like beginner and intermediate stage. Today I will be doing a few standing poses. So I'll start with Uttita Trikonasana.
Raji, in case you didn't hear, Raji is going to start with Uttita Trikonasana, which is one of the basic poses that we do, which helps the lower body tone all the muscles and so on. So she's standing in Namaskarasana position right now. And inhaling, take the feet apart. So she's extending her body towards the right side, bringing the right hand down, holding the right ankle, and bringing the left arm up. As you can see, her left hand fingers are in Chin Mudra. Mudras are special energy locks that we practice in asana, pranayama, and dhyana, meditation. So she has also turned her head to look at the hand and the ceiling. You can see that both the legs are fully stretched out, knees are not bent, arms are also fully stretched out. So this asana gives lateral flexibility to the spine. So right now you can see her spine is bent to the right, and then she'll be repeating the asana on the other side as well. But right now, the muscles in the back of the thighs, back of the legs are stretching. The hamstrings and the calf muscles are stretching. She's come out of the asana now, checking the alignment of her feet. And now she's going to go to the left side. As you can see, she turned her left foot 90 degrees to the left, right toes she's turned slightly to the left. And then she's continuing on with asana. The left arm now extended. Exhaling, coming down, holding the ankle, and the other arm up. Name of the pose is Uttita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Simply called triangle pose as well. Always inhaling when she comes up. She's now turned her feet to the front so that it's still in alignment. And come back to the starting position. The starting position and the end position are always the same. We start in Namaskarasana in the the standing poses.
The next pose I will be doing is Virabhadrasana 2.
The next pose Raji is doing is Virabhadrasana 2, which is called also Warrior Pose number 2. Once again, starting in Namaskarasana, she has taken her feet apart, about 3 to 4 feet apart. And the key here is to make sure the toes are aligned and pointing forward. That is very important in this asana and all the asanas where you stand in this kind of position. Hands on the hips. Right foot has turned 90 degrees to the right, left toe slightly to the right. And now the knee, her right knee is bending as you see. But you can see that the right knee doesn't go beyond the ankle line, which is key. Okay, it is bending according to her ability. Within her limits, she is doing that. And the back knee is tightened. Now she's taken her arms to the side. And just checked the back arms. So both arms are kept at shoulder height. And again, she's got the fingers in mudra, both hands. And she's looking over the right hand. So this asana particularly works on the lower body, the legs, the thighs, and the shoulder area as well. Shoulder muscles as well as the muscles of the upper arm, which is the triceps muscles mainly. Repeating the asana on the other side now. The mudra that she has in her hands, in this case Jnana Mudra, this mudra helps keep the energy within the person. Okay? That energy, this is an energy lock. Mudras are energy locks. And the reason you practice various mudras, hand mudras, is because you want to lock the energy in. Okay? You don't want the energy to be dissipated. Now she's coming out of Virabhadrasana 2. And she's in Namaskarasana.
I'll do Vrikshasana next.
Raji is going to do Vrikshasana tree pose next, which is a balancing pose where your body weight comes on one leg. So one leg is extended. She's making it as strong as possible so that it can take the weight of the whole body. And then the other knee is bent and she's placing the foot along the inner thigh of the standing leg. And balancing. Taking both hands up, palms joined. You can see it requires a lot of focus to do this asana and balance. And she's repeating on the other side. Besides the physical effects of balance and toning the muscles of the legs, this asana also works at a deeper level, influencing and energizing the Agnya chakra. Agnya chakra is located between the eyebrows and at the back, mid-brain. And this chakra is responsible for various intellectual abilities like memory, foresight, and so on.
Now I will do sitting poses. I will start with Vakrasana.
So Raji is going to start with the sitting poses, and the first pose she has selected is Vakrasana, which is basic spinal twist. Twisting poses are also very important in yoga practice. Because as I said, yoga has to do a lot with the spinal column. Alignment of the spinal column, flexibility of the spinal column are key elements of yoga. So that's why you'll see people bending one side, the other side, forward, backward. And in this particular asana, Vakrasana, she is going to twist the spine to one side and then the other. So let us see what she is doing. She has got her right knee on the top. She's bent her right knee. And now she's twisting to the right. So entire upper body, her trunk is twisting to the right. The toes of the extended leg should be pointing up. Again, fingers of the extended hand is in mudra. The twisting part has an effect on the Manipura chakra. Manipura chakra is located near the navel or the belly button region and influences the digestive system. So all the organs of the digestive system, like the liver, pancreas, gallbladder, etc., are not only energized, they are actually stimulated by this position. So it's highly advantageous for the digestive system. Just repeating the asana on the left side. Yoga is a system of complete health. Although what you're seeing now is a physical posture, this physical posture is not only affecting the body, it is also affecting the mind. Body and mind are working in harmony by the work of the prana. Prana is that pranic energy, is the energy that you derive from your breath. So these three parts, body, mind and prana, work together in harmony to make any asana successful.
Next, I will do Janushirshasana.
Raji is going to do Janushirshasana, same asana that we saw Lakshmi doing, but she'll be doing it at her own level. Again, one knee is bent, the foot is lodged against the perineum, the arms are extended up, inhaling. So she's aligning herself so that her body, her trunk is facing her extended foot, and she has exhaled and leaned forward to hold the foot. Now she's extending a little bit more to go into the asana. The key of this asana is not to bend the neck. At least in the initial stages, you want to keep the back, the spine, the neck and the head extended. Elbows are bent, which is fine. But the key is to get the spine to bend forward as much as possible. Forward, it's a forward bending asana. So in this asana, again, as I mentioned, case of Lakshmi, so you have the back muscles and the muscles of the thigh and the leg are stretching. The muscles in the front of the thighs, front of the legs, and front of the body are contracting. It's coming out of the asana now through the intermediate step, bringing your hands up, and now she's going to repeat on the other side. In this asana, when you start, Janushirshasana, the two thighs are kept at an obtuse angle, slightly greater than 90. Okay, that's the starting position. So right now in this position, her body, her mind, and the prana are all working together to make this happen. It cannot be in isolation. It's not just a physical exercise. And inhaling, she's coming out of the asana. Each step in an asana is important. We don't rush into doing the final stage, because that way you miss various fine points which are all important and all help the body and the mind.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raji. Next, we have Geeta Bekala. She is one of the advanced students, and you will see her practice now.
Hi, my name is Geeta Mekala. So I've been coming to Bharathi yoga classes with Raviji for about 4 years. So I truly enjoy the classes. So I'll be doing Surya Namaskar, followed by some standing asanas and some sitting asanas.
So Geeta is going to start with Surya Namaskar. Always starting in Samasthiti position, even standing position. So the first step of Surya Namaskar called Namaskar Mudra. Second step, inhaling Urdhva Hastottanasana. You can see this is a backward bending asana. I'll talk a little bit more about Surya Namaskar later. She's coming into Pada Hastasana. Pada Hastasana, forward bending asana. Right leg has gone back, hands lifted. Ashwa Sanchalanasana, or equestrian pose. Dandasana. Ashtanga Pranamasana. Bhujangasana. Parvatasana. Back in Ashwa Sanchalanasana. Padahastasana. Urdhva-Hastottanasana. And back in Namaskar-asana, Namaskar Mudra. Now she's going to do the other side. The first time she took her right leg back, now she's going to repeat and do the second half round where the left leg will go back. Surya Namaskar is an ancient tradition. As you know, yoga itself is over 5,000 years old. Surya Namaskar has been around for around that time as well, I think. Surya Namaskar consists of 12 steps and done in 2 half rounds, so totally we do 24 steps in each round. And these steps, Surya Namaskar itself, is a complete sadhana, complete practice, which includes asana, pranayama, dhyana, chakra, and mantra as well. For the next round when she does, I'll chant the mantra as well. So, and this is all of Surya Namaskar, as the name suggests, is respects that we pay to the Surya Devata, to sun. Okay. So this is the first round. She's doing the second round now. Om Mitraya Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om now. Surya Namaskar has to do with form, energy and rhythm. Form is the steps that you see that she is doing, various steps. Energy is that inside the body, inside the nadis, which are energy channels that we all have, 72,000 nadis in the body. Through these nadis, by doing Surya Namaskar, we are actually bringing up the solar energy. The solar energy is being brought and the whole body is being energized by solar energy. There are two main types of energy in the body. One is the solar energy, other one is the mental energy. And we also have two channels for these energy, which are the two main channels after the Sushumna Nadi. Sushumna Nadi is the main channel that runs through the spinal column. Then you have on the left the Ida Nadi, on the right you have the Pingala Nadi. Solar energy runs to the Pingala Nadi and mental energy runs to the Ida Nadi. And these two energies have to be balanced. So when Surya Namaskar is performed on both sides and with two rounds, each one of them taking the right leg back, the other one on the left, that's when you actually get balance energy. Okay, now Geeta is finished and she's doing relaxation. It's extremely important to do relaxation after you finish Surya Namaskar because it brings up the energy and you have to calm it down and equalize and balance it. So that's what she's doing. Right now she is in a pose called Balasana, child pose. Students from the children's class will be able to recognize this pose. And now Geeta is in Shavasana. Shava means the corpse or dead body. So why is the asana called Shavasana? Because in Shavasana there is no movement except for the breath. The breath is flowing, deep breathing in and out, but no other movement. And in this pose, the body and the mind both get complete relaxation. That is the key. And it's extremely important after each yoga practice. Doesn't matter how long it's for, you must do Shavasana. Okay, at least a few minutes. Right now, she will not do it for that long because she's demonstrating. But if she was doing a practice, she would do it for 3 to 4, maybe 5 minutes, depending on the length of the practice.
I'm going at Anantasana.
Yeah. So Geeta is now going to demonstrate Anantasana. Anantasana, you can see one leg is stretched up and the big toe is being held by the hand and the head is supported by the other arm. Now she's rolling over to the other side and repeating the asana on the other side. Because remember, we do everything on both sides equally. We do something on the right, we have to do it on the left. And she's released that leg as well. And next, Gandharasana. Gandharasana is a pose which is a counter pose. So the whole sequence of Surya Namaskar consists of Surya Namaskar, then we do Anantasana or Supta Sthapada Kushtasana, followed by Gandharasana, followed by Shavasana. So this is a backward bending pose as well. So you can see what we are doing is we are taking the spinal column through various movements, various planes of movements, okay? Forward bending, sideways bending, twisting, and so on, balanced on both sides. So the spinal column remains healthy and flexible and supple so that it keeps your entire body and mind healthy. Now she's sitting in Sukhasana, starting the sitting asanas. She's in Dandasana position, which is the starting position for almost all the sitting asanas.
We're doing Ushtrasana.
So Geeta is going to do a backward bending asana called Ushtrasana, which translates to camel pose. So she's on her knees now, and the knees are hip width apart, legs stretched out directly behind, bringing one hand up using the full range of motion of the shoulder, the other hand up. Both hands are placed on the buttocks, pushing forward, and she has bent her head and neck both, holding the heels of her feet. And you can see one important thing in this asana is that the thighs have to be maintained in a vertical position, and her thighs are perfectly vertical. You can see the back is bending from the hips all the way to the neck. Okay, so that you get a full curvature of the lumbar, the thoracic and cervical spine. Okay, it's very, very important that you get that. Now she's coming out of the asana, placing her hands in front, hands under the shoulders. She's doing Marjari asana, cat stretch. So this asana, after any forward bending or backward bending asana, we do this so that the spine is kept in a neutral position and it doesn't have any stresses. And next, she's in Balasana, relaxation. As you know, Balasana, the name suggests child pose, so children can do this very easily. Children know how to relax more than adults because they're always relaxed in general. So we learn a lot from our children. Sometimes as they grow up, they forget these things, so we have to remind them.
So are we doing Ardha
So next asana that Geeta will do is Ardha Matsyendrasana, which is twisting asana. It's you can see it. So one knee is bent, and the foot is against the opposite knee. The other knee is also bent and is taken to the hips back. Now she's doing Ardha Matsyendrasana, which Lakshmi also did, so the same asana, she's repeating, which is fine. So again, I want to say that her trunk is twisted to her right now. So this is where another asana where you get spinal twisting. And as I mentioned, in most people's lives, you don't often twist your spine. So you bend forward to do something, you bend backward to do something, but twisting doesn't happen. So if we have to twist due to some reason to pick up something, we get a catch in the back. This is very common. So by doing these asanas, your spine and these catches in the backs are not in our dictionary. So yoga students don't have that, catches in the backs, because the spine and spinal column and all the joints of the body are kept healthy and flexible. You can see the steadiness that she has right now is coming from body-mind coordination. This is important to understand. It is not just physical. It is physical and mental and the prana that actually connects the two. Yoga, as you know, means union. And union of body and mind with the prana, union of the individual with the universe, Jivatma with Paramatma.
So are we doing standing asanas?
Which one?
What is the Trikonasana?
Okay, so Geeta is now going to do triangle pose, extended triangle pose, Uttita Trikonasana. Normally in our practice we start with Surya Namaskar, then we do the standing poses, sitting poses, lying down, prone or supine poses. And then inversion sequence can be done depending on the level of the student. We do it either before the session starts, standing asana start, or after the standing and lying down asanas are completed. So she's doing now Trikonasana, the Trikonasana. Once again, I want to draw your attention to the steadiness in the pose. The steadiness can only come if the mind is working with the body and the prana is connecting the two. Otherwise, there is no difference between yoga and gymnastics. And it is not true, because yoga is a complete system of health. Complete system of health which affects the physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, psychological, and all other dimensions in which we human beings live. Repeating the asana on the other side. Next asana that Gita is going to do is Parivrata Trikonasana. Parivrata means revolving, in which now you can see, just like before she did Trikonasana, the leg position is the same, but let's see what she does, then I will talk about it. So as you can see now, she is twisting her entire trunk so that the hand is on the opposite ankle. And the other arm is up. So there's a lot of combined effects that are in this asana that practitioner gets from this asana. Of course, you get the same benefits as the Trikonasana. Besides that, you get an effect of the twisting. And in terms of chakras, because advanced students we think in terms of chakras, you have the Muladhara chakra, Swadhisthana chakra, Manipura chakra, and to some extent the Agnya chakra. 4 chakras are involved. There are 6 + 1, 7 chakras in the human body according to yoga, and they correspond with glands or plexuses in the body in normal medical terms, or you can say the endocrine system. The glands of the endocrine system. Each chakra corresponds to 1 or more. Coming out of the asana now.
So the next one I'll be doing is Uddita Parshva Konasana.
Next asana Gita is doing is Uddita Parshva Konasana, extended side angle pose. So again, if you notice, she started from Namaskar asana, and now the feet are taken apart, they are in alignment. She has checked that. Hands are on the hips, and now one knee is bent. So this position, you may remember, is Virabhadrasana number 2. But from here she is going into another pose where you can see her right hand is coming down next to the right heel. The left arm has come up and she's brought it overhead. The left knee is tight, only the right knee is bending, and you can see it is again steady. And the position the important thing here in this asana is that the legs, thighs, the back, and the arms are all more or less kept on a straight line basis. Gita is repeating the asana on the left side. From Virabhadrasana to going into Uddita Parshva Konasana, extended side angle pose. And you can notice the Chit Mudra that she has on the extended hand. Asana has been defined by Maharishi Patanjali as Sthira Sukham Asana. Sthira Sukham Asana. Sthira is steady, Sukham is comfort. Asana. So asana has been defined as something that you do where you can maintain a position comfortably. And comfort can only come from effort. Comfort doesn't come from the guru. Comfort comes from effort. So Gita has been practicing for, as she said, over 4 years. And for each hour of practice that we do in class, at least 2, maybe 3 hours of practice are done at home. So the result of all the effort that you put in, with the right attitude, leads to comfort in an asana. All right. Thank you very much, Gita. Thank you. Next, sadhaka or practitioner who is is Nilesh Trivedi. And Nilesh should introduce himself.
Namaste and good morning everyone. I'm Nilesh Trivedi. I've been practicing at Bharathi Yoga for more than 4 years, and what I've learned so far is pretty much tremendous benefits. Plus, as we practice yoga, we need some sort of a role model. So Ravi Menonji has been my role model for seeing him in practicing the yoga and helping us perfect our asana. And what I learned is pretty much musical asanas, including the one that I had pretty much difficulties with, and that was Sutra Neti and headstand. Today I will be performing Ekvadraja Pratasana.
So Nilesh is going to perform an asana that we have just started practicing in the advanced class. It is called Ekapada Rajakapotasana, which is one-legged king pigeon pose. We have just started practicing this in class, I think just about 2 months, and he's going to demonstrate. So you can see he started from downward facing dog or Adho Mukha Svanasana, brought one leg forward, bend the knee, place the foot facing up. The front foot is facing up, the back foot is also facing up, and the back leg is extended. This is an advanced pose. So those of you who are watching, if you are not students, please don't try any of the difficult asanas. Come to yoga class, come to the Bharathi yoga class and learn it from the ground up. That's my suggestion to you. So extending, placing the forehead and the arms in the front. As you can see, he gets a full extension of the back of the leg, back of the thigh, and the arms in here, as well as keeping the trunk upright. See, the trunk is upright here, and for this, 2 sets of muscles are working. One is the spinal erector muscles in the back, another is the abdominal muscles, rectus abdominis, which is also working, along with many other muscles. I just mentioned the main muscle names. But many muscles are working at the same time to stabilize the pose. Nilesh is repeating the asana on the other side. It is very encouraging for me also to see students when they put in an extra effort and show the progress they have made. But I also want to clarify that in our Bharathi yoga classes, we don't rush into asanas. We don't put any pressure into learning asanas. People go at their own speed, at their own level, that is comfortable for them, that they can maintain. But otherwise, if you learn something, you can pull a muscle or crack a joint, then that's the end of yoga practice. So we should be careful and should do everything in a way that is sustainable. That is the key. He's coming out of a Padaraja relaxation pose. He's still in that pose. Thank you, Nilesh, for demonstrating this new asana that we've been practicing. I'm sure the next time we'll have a demonstration, he will show even more advances in this pose. Next, I would like to welcome Ravi Vaikuntha, who is an advanced student, and he will introduce himself.
Namaste. Good morning. My name is Ravi Vaikuntha. I'm a student of Bharathi Yoga and Ravi Menonji for the past 3 years. So I always wanted to learn yoga, but really never got a chance to join we are really, I would say, we are very lucky to have Raviji and Bharathi Yoga in our community, because what Raviji teaches is not just yoga as poses, but like the holistic approach of yoga and the thought behind it and the value that it adds to the life and our body, thought process, everything. So I would say we are very lucky in this community, Hindu Center and Richmond itself. So I got this opportunity. I thank you, Raviji, very much. And today I'm going to start with Surya Namaskar, and then I will do the inversion sequence, and then do the Parivrata Trikonasana 3 and Virabhadrasana 2 sequence and Parivrata Jhana Shirshasana sequence.
Thank you. Surya Namaskar you've already seen, but it is each person does it in their own way. That's what is important. So if you observe how the body is moving in space, okay, see how the body is coming up, in this case, being balanced in this plank position, Ashtanga Pranamasana, Bhujangasana, forward bending, backward bending, sorry, forward bending now. Ashvasancharanasana, Padahastasana, Urdhva-hastottanasana, Namaskar Mudra. We talk a little bit about the chakras here as I was demonstrating. In this step, Urdhva-hastottanasana, the Vishuddhi chakra in the throat pit area is the one that is mostly energized. Here, Padahastasana, it is the Swadhisthana chakra, the lower abdominal region, reproductive and urinary systems. Ashvasancharanasana, mainly Muladhara chakra, elimination of waste. Dandasana, all the chakras, from Muladhara to Vishuddhi and Agnya to Agnya chakra are influenced. Manipura chakra in this pose of Ashtanga Pranamasana. Anahata chakra, located in the heart center, responsible for the functioning of the respiratory and cardiovascular system. Parvatasana is Swadhisthana chakra. Somebody is coming back into Ashvasancharanasana. You can again see the steadiness of the pose, which only comes from practice. I mentioned before that Surya Namaskar is a complete sadhana or complete system within yoga. It includes everything. And I'm planning actually very soon to have a virtual Surya Namaskar camp, which you can join and learn from the basics about Surya Namaskar. So after we finish Surya Namaskar, as mentioned before, we have to relax our breath, our body, and our mind. all three. So Balasana right now. I think we are running a bit ahead of schedule, so we have plenty of time. So again, Ravi is in Shavasana right now. Start the inversion.
Stop.
So when we do inversion sequence, we start with a practice called dolphin pose. And dolphin pose gives our arms, especially arms and hands, the feeling of staying in Shirshasana. And that's what he's doing now. It's a dynamic pose where the arms or the sides of the arms and the hands are being taken through a motion which is similar to what you experience in Shirshasana. Shirshasana, that Ravi will demonstrate now, has been called the king of the asanas, the king or emperor of the asanas. And you will see why. It is an extremely advanced pose, and Ravi has made tremendous effort to do it so well. You will see how he is doing it. And among my students, I would say that he has done this pose probably the fastest. Learned it, spent a lot of time practicing. Okay, now let's watch. So you can see his head is down and his asana, you balance on your head. Head is down, the rest of the body is up. So it's kind of upside down view of the world right now. But the reason Shirshasana is called the king of the asanas is because it's one of the few asanas where effect is on the Sahasrara chakra. Sahasrara chakra is in the head, in the cranium, and you get the effect of this, and Sahasrara chakra is responsible for the pineal gland functioning, hypothalamus, and so on, which is different parts of the brain that contribute to well-being. The pineal gland actually secretes melatonin, which is responsible for sleep. So many effects which you don't get in other asanas. And also when you are inverted, like he is right now, the shoulders, the neck, these regions get an increased flow of blood. Increased flow of blood, which normally you don't, because normally you are always standing on your feet. Another aspect of this asana is that the vertebral column, okay, we have 33 vertebrae. These columns are now relieved of the stress of one vertebra acting against the other, which is normally going on all the time. So they get a little relief here as well. So many benefits of this asana are there, too many to name. But the key is to learn this only properly. The key is to learn it properly under proper guidance. Don't look at a YouTube video and do these kind of asanas. These are difficult asanas. It seems that Ravi is doing it very easily, which he is, but there's a lot of coordination that's happening between the various parts of his body, various muscles. He's, for example, pulling up the whole body from the shoulders up, tightening the knees, extending the toes. Okay, there are so many muscle groups that are working that you can only feel it. It cannot be described. So it is extremely difficult, but a very good asana that you can do, you can learn once you have been practicing yoga for a few years. Ravi's come out of the asana. As I said before, just like you have steps to go into an asana, you have steps to come out of an asana. It's very important that you do it correctly. What Ravi is doing now is the dog stretch, which relieves the stress from the neck area. So it's, again, as I said before, we learn from nature. Yogis always learn from nature. And they found a lot of good things in nature which they added to yoga practice. So the way dogs stretch, the way cats stretch, cows, horses, camels, we learn from them as well. So what he's doing now is with the tongue stretch, he's rotating his neck. Why is he doing that? Because this asana does put a lot of pressure on the neck joints. If you have a weak neck, you cannot do this. Any weakness in the neck or the cervical spine, you should not do this. But even if you don't have any problems with your neck, you have to relieve the stress in the neck area. And that's what he was doing. And right now he's resting in Balasana. And short Shavasana as well. He's wearing the gloves because otherwise it can make him a little slippery. Hands can be slippery. So that is a good idea to get a good grip on the mat and the back of the head. So Ravi is continuing on with the immersion sequence. Take your time, Ravi, as much time as you need. He is in half plow pose right now. Ardha Halasana, half plow. And in this, again, backward bending, sorry, it's not a backward bending asana, this is a forward bending asana. And please notice the portion of his chest which is adjoining the chin. His chest and chin are together, and he's almost has a chin lock that is formed. So that is the Vishuddhi chakra area, which is where the thyroid, parathyroid glands are, and the metabolism, it influences metabolism. The legs were straight, now he's coming out of it and going into the queen of the asanas, which is Salamba Sarvangasana, which is again a very, very good asana, an advanced asana, where you're also inverting. You get most of the benefits of Shirshasana. Most of the benefits you get. So first of all, you get some additional benefits also. Number one, you get Vishuddhi chakra energized, which you don't get in Shirshasana. Vishuddhi chakra is energized. Vishuddhi chakra, as I said, thyroid is responsible for the functioning of thyroid, parathyroid glands, and which are controlling metabolism and many other functions in the body. He has now come into Sampurna Halasana, that is complete plow pose. So if you look at this, and the people who have seen a real plow, not mechanized plow, but real plow in the fields in India, will recognize this. Where the hands are actually he's got his thumbs turned down, so the person with the bullocks, he's moving forward, and the plow is tearing up the land and tilling the land. So that's why it's called Halasana, Sampurna Halasana. From Halasana, Sampurna Halasana, Rahul Ravi has gone into Supta Konasana. Supta Konasana. The legs are separated, he's holding the ankles. Because he's holding the ankles, he doesn't have to support the back. Otherwise, he would need to in this position, but right now he's very steady in this position. Knees are tightened. Now, continuing on in the inversion sequence, we do a few variations. So, this one is called Ekapada Sarvangasana, where again you see he's supporting his back, lower back, one leg on the mat or on the floor, one leg up. Now switching the legs. Now he's doing Titli, butterfly, in the Sarvangasana position. You can see his feet are together like we do butterfly, down, he is doing this in a position where it's inverted. Spreading his legs apart, Prasarita Pada Sabhakasana. These are all variations that we practice in the inversion sequence. Right now, what Ravi is doing is his legs are in a position which we practice in Garudasana. When we do Garudasana, which is a balancing pose, standing pose, he has taken the leg position and his legs are in the Garudasana position. And as always, when we do whatever we do on one side, we repeat on the other side. So in one case, he had the right leg wrapped around the left, now he has the left wrapped around the right, so that there is balance. Yoga is all about balance and harmony in everything we do. Now Ravi has his legs in Padmasana position. He's in Sarvangasana with the legs in Padmasana position. Lotus pose inverted. He's getting ready to come out of the asana now. And you can see he comes out, lower body down, and he will go into fish pose, Matsyasana. So just to be clear, this is something Ravi has learned himself, because we don't do the lotus position in this in fish pose. Is something that he has taken extra efforts and learned on his own, but he's doing it correctly. So you have Matsyasana, so the crown of the head resting on the mat, chest lifted, hands tucked in under the body, and in this case the feet are, the legs are in Padmasana position. Matsyasana, what he just did, is a counter pose to the inversion sequence. Because the inversion sequence is all forward bending, and Matsyasana, when we do, it is a backward bending asana that relieves the stresses on the spine. Now resting in Shavasana.
the stretch on your entire right side. Twisting, locking your right elbow with your left knee.
much, Hindu Center and Raviji, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Ravi. The next participant is Ravi Menon. He's a guru, call him Ravi Ji.
Namaste, my name is Ravi Menon, and as mentioned before, I've been teaching here at the Hindu Center for almost 10 years. I started practicing yoga about 35 years ago at the Yoga Institute in Mumbai. That's where I learned yoga, and I've been practicing since then according to my own abilities, according to what I could integrate in my life. I've been practicing not only the asanas, but try to do a yogic lifestyle. Today, what I want to do is, I want to talk about pranayama, and I will demonstrate a few pranayama. But before we do that, I would like to talk about Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is the 8-limbed yoga. So Maharishi Patanjali, who is considered to be the patron saint, you can call him patron saint of yoga, who lived about 2,200 years ago, and he distilled all the thoughts of yoga that were existing at the time and distilled them and codified it, you can say, into the Yoga Sutras. The Yoga Sutras are, for any yoga student, it is very important for them to understand and to read and get whatever they can. As you are a beginner, you may not get everything, you may not be able to understand everything. As you practice and go deeper, Yoga Sutras, you realize, are a treasure. They are a treasure. Just like yoga is a treasure that India has given to the rest of humanity. It's a boon for the rest of humanity that comes from India. So we can be proud of that. And yoga tradition started over 5,000 years ago, as I mentioned, and various things got added in the back. So the Yoga Sutras themselves don't go into the asanas or techniques too much. They talk about the mind, how you should get the mind ready for the body to follow, and also the prana. So Ashtanga Yoga, I want to talk a little bit about that. So the first limb of yoga, or the first step, is yama. Yama means universal principles. These are principles that apply across the boundaries of time and region. There are 5 yamas: ahimsa, non-violence; satya, truth; asteya, non-stealing; brahmacharya in this sense means purity; and aparigraha means non-greed, not being greedy about things. So these are the 5 universal principles. Then we have the niyamas, which are again 5, but these are for the individual. So they are individual disciplines, you can say. There are again 5: shaucha, which is cleanliness, internal and external; santosha, contentedness, being content with what you have; tapa. Tapa is austerity in one sense, also in another sense you can say it is a burning within you. The knowledge to do the right thing, and differentiation between right and wrong comes in with the practice as well. Then comes swadhyaya, which is, swadhyaya means self-study. So it has 2 meanings. One is studying yourself. You know, the olden days, yoga students will be in the Gurukul, Yoga Gurukul. So they will be residing with the teacher, with the Guru, and living there for several years. They will live there. And once that is over, they go on their own and then they study on their own. So that was the original meaning, self-study, swadhyaya. But there is another meaning of swadhyaya. Swa is yourself, adhyaya is learning. Swadhyaya also means learning about yourself, understanding yourself. Yoga is a journey within. It's a journey within yourself, not outside. So it is not something to show off to others. No, it is something that you benefit internally. And each person can have their own benefit by practicing yoga. Last niyama is Ishvara Pranidhana, and I referred to it previously. Ishvara Pranidhana means surrendering your net effort to God. Okay, so whatever you do in terms of physical exercises, work that you do, mental, physical, any kind of work or any kind of effort that you put in has to be surrendered. And you see, this is very similar to what Lord Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, right? Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga principle is very similar to Ishvara Pranidhana. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, there are a lot of references to yoga. There are lots and lots of references to yoga. When Arjuna was completely bewildered and confused as to what he should do, great warrior, right? Great warrior, but he did not know exactly what to do because he was in two minds. He's got his cousins, teacher, friends on one side that he has to wage a war and kill them potentially. So he said, should I even do that? How can I do that? And Lord Krishna was explaining to him that you have to do your duty. Don't worry about the result. This is the essence of Ishvara Pranidhana as well. You do your effort. Put in the effort. Physical, mental, spiritual, whatever effort you put in. The rest, don't worry about. Okay? So that is the key. And in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 17, Lord Krishna says, Yuktahara viharasya, Yukta cheshtasya karmasya, Yukta swapnavabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. What does that mean? It means a person with a balanced lifestyle of food, sleep, recreation and work. Okay? Sleep and recreation, food, moderate lifestyle, moderate food habits, and work and recreation balanced. Such a person can eliminate all the material pains that they have. All material pains can be eliminated by the practice of the yoga system. Lord Krishna has said, so in order for him to say that in Bhagavad Gita, it's clear that yoga systems existed many, many millennia before. That's why the thought and the practice has been unbroken, you can say. Unbroken. Now, let me continue on with we talked about yama niyama. Then comes asana, Ashtanga yoga traditions. Asanas are physical postures that you saw students demonstrate today. These are asanas. And I mentioned Sthirasukham asana. Effort becomes comfortable when you put in the effort, and then the body, mind and prana work together. Next is pranayama. Pranayama in simple terms is, you can say, breathing practices, although that doesn't do justice to pranayama. Pranayama is much more than that, because we all within ourselves have a pranic body called pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha is within each one of us. And this pranamaya kosha consists of the prana or the vital energy that is going in our body to every cell in our body. If a particular part of our body doesn't get the prana shakti, it will be sick, it will have disease, decay and finally death. So it's very important that we understand this and do pranayama. And I'll talk about pranayama in a minute. I want to complete the Ashtanga Yoga. So we have Pratyahara as the next step, which is withdrawal of the senses. So, we have the Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. So withdrawing them and pulling them within us, so that you're doing things at the command of your own self, within you, not what you're seeing or you're hearing or you're smelling or you're touching or tasting. No. So it is within yourself is the driver, which is taking you within you. That is the goal of yoga. Then we have dharana, which is concentration. Dhyana, which is meditation. Concentration ripens and matures into meditation when it is practiced over a long period. Final step in Ashtanga Yoga is Samadhi. And what does Samadhi mean? Samadhi means the complete merging without any more difference between yourself and what you're seeking. So if you're seeking God, there is no more difference between you and God. You're merged into one. And to be honest, very few people are able to realize this. Great souls like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Ramana Maharshi, and people like that are able to realize this, but not common people. But it's a good goal to have, to aspire for, right? So these are the 8 steps that I mentioned. I want to talk about pranayama a little bit. Pranayama itself has been defined in the Yoga Sutras by Maharishi Patanjali as Tasmin Sati Shwasa Prashwasayor Gati Vichhedaha Pranayamaha. Tasmin Sati, that means the literal translation is that being done, that having been done. Okay, controlling your breathing, inflow and outflow, inhalation and exhalation is called pranayama, controlling that. So in other words, when you control your breath, hold it within you, that has been defined as pranayama. So in terms of pranayama, I have to define, we inhale, so inhalation is one part that is called puraka. Then we can retain the breath within us. It's called kumbhaka. We exhale, which is called rechaka. These are the 3 main steps in any breathing. Normally people don't retain the breath, they just inhale and exhale. And this inhalation, exhalation is happening from the time a baby is born till death, right? And it is happening at an average 15 times a minute, 21,600 times a day, 24-hour day. So you can see that this is happening, without which we will not be alive. But do we know about it? Do we understand it? No, we don't. And the breath has a high influence on our mind. In Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it is said, Chale vate chalang chitta, nischale nischalang bhave, yogis tanutum apnoti, tato vayur nirodhaye. So as the breath moves, the mind moves. When the breath is still, the mind can be stilled. So learn how to control your breath. Again, the same suggestion in Hatha Yoga Pradipika as the Yoga Sutras. So I think that's enough talk. Pranayama and yoga are about action and not talk. So what we will do now is I'm going to demonstrate a few simple pranayamas, starting with, so first requirement is to sit in a proper meditative posture and putting the hands in mudras, closing your eyes. The first pranayama I'll do is called getting to know your prana. So closing the eyes. If you are watching at home, you can sit down and do this with me. And essentially what we are doing now is we are going to focus on the breathing process. So take your awareness to your nostrils and feel the flow of breath in and out in the nostrils area. Inhalation and exhalation in the nostrils area. Take your awareness now to the back of the nose and feel the inhalation and exhalation in the back of the nose. Take your awareness to the back of the throat now, pharynx region, and feel the inhalation and exhalation in the back of the throat. Take your awareness now to the windpipe that runs in the front of the body from the throat. It goes down till about the lungs area. So take your awareness to this windpipe through which the breath is moving all the time, up and down, inhalation and exhalation. take your awareness now to the lungs. We all have 2 lungs, 1 on each side, with compartments, 2 on the left side and 3 on the right side. As you inhale, the lungs expand, the rib cage expands. As you exhale, the lungs relax, the rib cage relaxes. So take your awareness to the lungs area. Take your awareness now to the diaphragm area. The diaphragm is a muscle, dome-shaped muscle that separates the abdominal and the thoracic cavities. It's somewhere here. And this muscle it pushes down during inhalation, and in exhalation it comes back up. So keep your awareness on the diaphragm muscle. Take your awareness now to the abdominal region, near the navel. Each time you inhale, this area is pushed out because the diaphragm is pushing in and there is no more space there in the abdominal cavity, so the abdominal area pushes out. Each time you exhale, it comes back in. Now let's take 3 cycles. Let's observe 3 cycles of breath. Keep your breathing slow, deep, and rhythmic. And follow the breath from the nostrils all the way down to the abdominal region. Inhalation and exhalation, make 1 cycle. 3 cycles of get to know your prana. Next, I'm going to show you a pranayam called Bhastrika pranayam. Bhastrika means bellows, it's called bellows breathing. So in this pranayam, we will be inhaling, filling the lungs, and exhaling, emptying the lungs. Both inhalation and exhalation will be forceful. I'm going to demonstrate. So that was Bhastrika pranayam, and you saw the inhalation and exhalation that we were doing. Now we are going to go into Kumbhaka, Antara Kumbhaka. So we are going to inhale and apply certain locks. So there are 3 locks or bandhas that we apply. One is called the Jalandhara bandha, which is the chin lock. Second is the Uddiyana bandha, which is the abdominal lock or the navel region. And the third is in the pelvic floor region called Mula bandha. Mula bandha is where the muscles of the pelvic floor near the perineum are contracted and pulled up. So we will do now Antara Kumbhaka demonstration. I'm going to show you. Gently release the bandhas, then release the breath. I'm just giving you short demonstrations. Next pranayama I will demonstrate is called Kapalabhati pranayama, which is the most important pranayama and also a Hatha Yoga Kriya, in which we are going to exhale in pulses. Now we'll go into Antara Kumbhaka again. So inhale, we apply the bandhas. Gently release the bandhas, then release the breath. Next pranayama I will demonstrate is called Anuloma Viloma pranayama, which is alternate nostrils pranayama, where the breath is taken through one nostril with the other one closed, then exhalation is through the opposite nostril, then we inhale through that nostril and exhale through the first nostril. For this we need to apply a pranayama mudra, which is this one on the right hand. We apply the pranayama mudra and then we close the one nostril and inhale through the first one, through the open one. That was Anulom Vilom Pranayama. The way to think of pranayama practice is like it's an energy generation and equalization and balancing system. So we generate energy by practices like Bhastrika and Kapalabhati, and then we balance it by Anulom Vilom, and then we do Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, which is what we are doing now, I'm going to do now, where the breath is held inside so that it distributes to all the nadis in the body. 72,000 of them, and purifies those nadis. So we are going to start it with alternate nostrils breathing. Nadi Shodhana, one round we do. That was Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. And we'll finish off the pranayama practice with Bhramri Pranayama. Bhramri Pranayama is bumblebee breath pranayama. So what we do is we put our forefingers and the middle finger on either side of the eyes, closed eyes, put the ring finger near the nose, little finger near the mouth. We will inhale and then close the ears by pushing down on the ears with the thumb tips. As we exhale, we'll make a noise like a bee, bumblebee from the back of the throat. We'll do 3 rounds of Bhramri Pranayama. was the pranayama practice that I just wanted to demonstrate. Always remember that you have to do pranayama after you've learned yogasana. So my suggestion to everyone watching, if you're not a Bharathi Yoga student yet, please join the classes. Right now we have virtual classes. We have several classes going on right now. We have a beginner's class on Saturdays at noon. We have an intermediate level class on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. And then we have a meditation session that we do on Saturdays at 7. Advanced class in person on Sundays here in this hall at 7:30 a.m. And we have a children's class that we are also conducting virtually, which is on Sundays at 11 a.m. So I hope you will join the classes and learn some of these techniques and enjoy good health. Thank you very much.
Next yoga sadhaka that we have, yoga practitioner we have, is Sudhakar Tiwari, who will introduce himself.
Namaste. My name is Sudhakar Tiwari. I have practicing yoga. I joined Bharathi Yoga 5 years back, I think on the first International Yoga Day. I joined this group, and since I'm continuing, it helped me a lot in my health and mind, and getting the focus. It benefits a lot. Thank you. I'll be demonstrating some of the asanas which I learned here, and then I'll start with triangle pose.
Sudhakar is doing Uttita Trikonasana also.
Next, I'll be doing revolving triangle pose.
Parivrita Trikonasana, revolving triangle pose. There are 3 stages in this asana, and what Sudhakar is doing is the advanced stage, which is number 3. Hands in Chin Mudra, as you saw. Now repeating the asana on the other side. Virabhadrasana number 2, warrior 2. So that will do next. In this position, it's important to keep the sternum lifted, chest and sternum lifted as he has.
Next, Virabhadrasana 1.
So that was going to do Virabhadrasana number 1. Although the numbering is 1 is actually more challenging than 2, as you'll see. So in this case, he's rotating his entire body to one side. The hips are squared to one side, front knee bent, taking the hands up, joining the palms and bending the head and neck back. Back knee and back leg are tightened. Come out of Asana and then bring both arms up to make the spine erect again and then continue on to the other side. As you can see, we start and finish most of the standing asanas in Namaskarasana. Prasadita Paduttanasana. Next asana Sudhakar is going to do is Prasadita Paduttanasana, expanded leg, intense stretch pose. This is an intense stretch for the back of the legs and the thighs. So it's definitely not a beginner's pose. So you can see his feet are 3.5, 4, almost 3.5 to 4 feet apart. Between 3 and 4 feet apart anyway. And right now his trunk is being held up by the muscles, so he's not even holding, the hands are not on the mat anymore. So you can see this pose when you practice, your muscles are trained and they remember what is to be done. He's doing stage 2 now, where the crown of the head is resting on the mat. Crown of the head. There's no weight on the crown of the head. It is just resting, elbows are bent, and he actually has the head, the hands and the feet aligned, which is really an advanced position. And now he's going to something which is even more advanced, where he's holding the ankles and still with the head rested. So you can, what you can see is the back, which is being stretched. What you cannot see is the back of the thighs. The hamstring muscles and the calf muscles are undergoing an extreme stretch, intensive stretch, I should say, and as well as the muscles of the gluteal muscles of the buttocks also stretching. And likewise, the front muscles are contracting. So he's now coming out of the asana. It's very important to come out carefully. So he's bringing the feet closer to each other and coming up, because since it's an expanded leg stretch, the intense stretch, if you try to come out too quickly, you might pull a muscle. next demonstrate Ardha Matsyendrasana, which we have seen, but everyone does at their own level and ability. So Ardha Matsyendrasana is an advanced twisting asana. So holding the shin, he is aligning his spine. You can see his spine is erect. That is the starting position. Because the spine has to be on a vertical axis before you twist. So as I mentioned before, all asanas start by impacting the body, then they impact the pranic body, or called pranamaya kosha, the mind, the vijnanamaya kosha, or what is called the psychic sheath or intellectual sheath, where the chakras reside. And finally, Anandamaya kosha. So he's doing it on the left side now. So as you can see, his left knee is on the top and he's twisting to the left. Sometimes people make a mistake. You may see on video if you look at YouTube or other things, not this YouTube, but otherwise, you may see that people have they're bending to the wrong side. So the key is to bend to the right side, so your knee, the one that's on the top, that is the side you have to twist to. And what he's doing now is a quick counter twist.
Now I'm doing Navasana.
Sudhakar is now going to do the boat pose, Navasana. So this is an example of a pose that looks really easy, but is quite challenging. Because right now he's balancing the muscles, and he's balancing himself and the muscles in the front of the quadriceps muscles, the abdominal muscles, the psoas, the hip flexor muscles are all working, contracting to keep him in place, and the back muscles are stretching.
Namaste. That's what I prepared for this class. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudhakar. So just before the next participant comes online, I just wanted to mention that as you know, people who are watching, this is a fundraiser that Bharathi Yoga students are doing for the Hindu Center of Virginia. And as Kedar Garu mentioned at the beginning, there is a challenge that one of the well-wishers of the temple has put forward, that he will match an amount up to $15,000, I think, $10,000 to $15,000. So this is a fundraiser for our temple, and that is the only reason why I have organized this session. Because our temple is hurting right now because of COVID-19. There are not enough people coming. We didn't have the Festival of India this year, which is one of the main sources of revenue. And because of that, we all need to pitch in and help our temple in all ways we can. Because our temple is our spiritual support. Temple provides a spiritual support, and we have to support our temple in this time of need. So please go to the Hindu Center website and click on fundraiser option and click on Bharathi Yoga fundraiser and make a generous donation. Thank you. Now we have Kirti. Kirti is she'll introduce herself.
Namaste, I'm Kirti Papina. I've been doing yoga for like a year now, and I'll be demonstrating some yoga postures.
Kirti is a senior in school?
I'm a junior.
Kirti is a junior in high school, and she has been practicing yoga with me for about almost a year now? Almost a year. So.
I'll be doing Uttita Trikonasana.
Kirti is also demonstrating Uttita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose, which is the basic pose that we all learn. Even in the children's class, we do this, and in the beginners class, the new beginners can do this. It's a relatively simple asana, And of course, the rule is that everybody does practice at their own physical level and according to their abilities within their limits. Kirti has, and her dad is also there, we'll be going next, but Kirti has definitely put in a lot of effort, which is clear from her practice in her asana demonstration. You can see the knees of both legs are tight, so are the elbows. Again, the reminder, this is where the spine gets lateral flexion on both sides. First you did on the right, now on the left. And coming back, turning the feet to the front, arms up, and she's jumped and come back to Namaskarasana, which is the starting position, and the ending position as well. Warrior 2 is the next asana. In Warrior 2, the goal of the practitioner, as he or she advances in the practice, is to get the thigh and the leg at about 90-degree angle. So the knee is bent, so you can see Kirti is very close to that. I can see she's almost there. I'm glad to see Kirti is following all the steps, intermediate steps that we go through without cutting any corners. Which is so important, whether you're practicing the asana the first time, the 10th time, the 1000th time, 10,000th time, it doesn't matter. All the steps are important, just as important. Bring the back arm up a little bit. The back, yeah, good. Kirti is doing the full camel pose or Ushtrasana. So you can see the amount of effort she has put in to get to this stage, which is really the final stage here, where our thighs are vertical, hands on the heels, and as you saw in another participant's case, the back is really has a nice curvature from the hips all the way to the neck. So the lumbar, thoracic, and the cervical spine are bent forward. The front, the abdominal muscles are stretching, and the muscles of the back are contracting here. Likewise, the muscles of the back of the thighs and the legs are contracting. The front muscles are stretching. Marjariasana is a cat stretch which you do, as I said before, after each forward bending or backward bending asana to make sure your spine is de-stressed, stress removed. I'm really encouraged by students when they join the class, when I see their dedication and practice, the rigorous practice that they go through. Kirti is a good example of that. There are others as well. And really, my heart is warmed by that, because I think they are doing this at the right age, and if they can keep not only the asanas that they learn, but holistic yoga, make it part of their lifestyle, they will have peace and harmony in their lives. And also excel in whatever they do. Kirti is now relaxing. Balasana.
I'll be doing
Ardhamatsendrasana, spinal twist. One of the keys in this asana is that the back heel should be kept away from the body, a few inches away, but just it should be kept away and it should not sit on that heel. And I can see that Kirti is taking note of that, as well as extending her toes of the back foot are equally important. The front foot, which you probably cannot see clearly, is flat on the mat without lifting it from the side or front. So in this asana, at the physical level, the muscles in the abdominal region are being stretched and pulled from one side to another, and it goes all the way down to even the top of the intestinal area. And that's why this asana is very beneficial for the digestive system. At the psychic level, it is the Manipura chakra, that is the main chakra in this asana. So she did a quick counter twist, now she'll do the other side. Holding the shin and making the spine erect is a key before you start, because you want to keep your spine in the right axis. All the details she has remembered here. It's really, for me, so nice to see this. You know, many students of this age are quite distracted, but I've noticed in Kirti from the beginning, she has been very focused, wanting to learn, and she practices, and the results are very clear. In yoga, according to Maharishi Patanjali, two things are important, most important. One is abhyasa. Abhyasa is vigorous, uninterrupted practice. And the second is vairagya. Vairagya is detached mind. Detached mind meaning observe, be an observer. Be an observer in what you're doing. Don't feel bad if you have done an asana really well. Don't feel good if you have, or don't feel bad if you've done it badly, or feel good if you've done it very well. Be equanimous and maintain equanimity, and just be neutral about that and be an observer. That's what is required to be successful in yoga practice.
I'll be doing Surya Namaskars now.
So Kirti is doing Surya Namaskar now. Normally we will do Surya Namaskar at the beginning, but she's doing it now, which is okay. We already did, so she had already done Surya Namaskar today, this morning, and she's now doing it. She's now in Ashwasanchalanasana, equestrian pose. From there into Dandasana, plank position. Ashtanga Pranamasana, 8-limbed salutation pose. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Parvatasana, mountain pose. Back in Ashwasanchalanasana. Pada Hastasana, it's forward bending pose. Urdhva Hastottanasana, and Namaskar Mudra. Now she'll repeat on the other side. When I say the other side, it means the leg that goes back will be the opposite leg. First we did with the right leg, now with the left. There is so much coordination that happens when you do an asana, especially something like Surya Namaskar, which is a sequence. So there are so many different physical steps going on. Breath is moving. You inhale, then you exhale, you hold your breath in some cases. All this coordination initially has to be done consciously. You have to remember it and do it consciously. With practice and detachment, this effort becomes effortless and becomes comfort. But you have to do the practice. Second round. The main difference between the first round and the remaining rounds are that the first round, between the half rounds, we actually complete each half round. But from the second round onwards, from the second half round begins dynamically after the first half round. And you'll see that in Kirti's demonstration. She has finished the first half round and she's going dynamically into the second half round without going to the Namaskar Mudra or the Urdhva Hastottanasana step, going straight into Pada Hastasana. I mentioned the endocrine system and how the glands are equivalent to various chakras that we have in yoga. And in Surya Namaskar, almost all the chakras are energized. From Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddhi and Agnya chakra. All these six main chakras are energized and activated. And likewise, all the glands that are working are activated as well. Thank you very much, Kirti. Next, we have Kirti's dad, Bala. Bala will introduce himself.
Namaste. I am Bala Kodina and I have been with Bharathi Yoga for the past 1 year along with my daughter. And both of us are appreciating the transformative benefits not only at the physical level, mental and spiritual level. So we are very happy to be associated with this group. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll start with Surya Namaskara.
Urdhva Hastottanasana. Vishuddhi chakra is the main chakra that is reflected here. Pada Hastasana. Ashvasancharanasana. You can see that Surya Namaskar, although it's a sequence, there is clearly a demarcation between one step and the next one. And you can see that in Bala's practice as well. So each one he's clearly showing. This one, for example, is Padahastasana, where he's moving into the next pose. Urdhvahastottanasana. Coming back to Namaskar Mudra. In the summertime, we are able to do Surya Namaskar in front of the temple, facing the sun, which is the right way to do it. So the advanced class we start at normally 7 a.m. or 7:30. Facing the sun, we are fortunate to do it in good weather days. Of course, now with the temperature the way it is, we are practicing indoors. But when you're practicing at home, if you have a patio or a deck, the sun, you can get the sun, early morning sun, that's the best time to practice Surya Namaskar. Second round now. We have many families who are learning yoga. We have one family where we have 3 generations, grandmother, mother and granddaughter, all are learning yoga. And this is, I think it's key here because it is really something you can share with your family. Yoga is a value. Yoga is a health system that can be shared with every member of your family. And people will do at their own level, but it's something you can share in the well-being and the physical and mental health that you get out of this. And actually, I forgot to mention, Kirti's younger brother is also, he's enrolled in children's class, and he's 12 years old. 12 years old. So there are 3 members of the family who are practicing yoga. Especially now during the times of COVID-19 and working from home, there's nothing like practicing yoga. You can make a routine and every day at your convenience, do practice your yoga session.
Round 3.
Bala starting round number 3. The steadiness and the grace with which he is moving from one pose to another is very impressive and remarkable. That shows coordination. That shows practice. going to relax. First in Balasana, slowing down the breath. In Shavasana now, to relax and to slow down the breath and make it deeper. Anantasana. This asana is named after Lord Vishnu's recline called Anantashayana, and that is where this name comes from. Anantashayana, he is shown as holding his big toe. Repeating on the other side. Kandarasana, again, it's a backward bending position and it's a counter pose. So all this is part of the sequence of Surya Namaskar that we do. We do Surya Namaskar, then we relax, we do Anantasana or Supta Sthapalamuftasana, Kandarasana, Shavasana. Uttita Trikonasana is the next asana, Bharathi. You can see he's checking the alignment of his toes, which is very important. Toes to point forward and align in a line. So the big toes to the edge of the mat should be the same distance on both sides. Now leaning towards his left right now. Bring the hand down. Repeating on the other side. and Namaskarasana. Closing his eyes, you can see he's closing his eyes and resting. This is key. Between the poses, between the asanas, we rest. And this is important to give the body and mind time to connect for each asana. That's why we do that. Ardha Ushtrasana is half camel pose. So you already saw the full camel pose, now you will see the half camel pose. He's lifting his right arm up, bringing it down using the full range of motion of the right shoulder, placing it on the right buttock, fingers pointing down. Same thing on the left, pushing forward with the hands, opening the pelvic girdle area. At the same time, opening the shoulder girdle area. You can see his shoulder, his chest area is fully expanded. Fully expanded. Ardha Ushtrasana, half camel pose. And coming out of the asana, leaning forward, doing the cat stretch, Marjariyasana. Again, remember Marjariyasana is a way to de-stress the spine after a backward bending or forward bending asana. He's got his big toes together, he's leaning back, sitting on the heels in Shashankasana. It's a variation of Shashankasana where the forehead is on the mat, arms stretched in front, and relaxation. Bala is sitting now in Vajrasana. A special thing about this asana is this is an asana you can sit in even after a full meal. After you had your lunch or dinner, there are very few asanas that you can sit in. This is one that you can sit in. For most of the other asanas, you have to have a 3 to 4 hour, maybe even a 5 hour gap between your meals and the yoga practice. That's why early morning, before you take any food, is the best time to do your yoga practice.
Mandukasana.
Bala is now going to demonstrate Mandukasana, frog pose. So both his hands are turned into fists and they are on either side of his belly button, applying pressure into the abdominal organs. So his liver, pancreas, and other organs are being massaged right now. This is also very beneficial asana for digestive system.
Now we do Ardhamatsyendrasana.
Ardhamatsyendrasana again you do. You've already seen it, but again, as I said, each person does at their own level, so it is good to watch everyone. You can see his right knee is on the top and he's twisted to the right, which is the right way to do it. Counter twist. Both arms up to straighten the spine again. Legs taken out, and now we repeat on the other side. Ardha Matsyendrasana. At the physical level, this is just twisting of the trunk where the muscles, the abdominal region and the shoulders and then the chest region are being turned to one side. But at the psychic level, deeper level, the Manipura chakra is activated here. When a practitioner starts, when a student starts yoga, they are at the physical level. And then they gradually go deeper into the Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and finally there's Anandamaya Kosha, where yoga practice becomes just bliss, pure bliss. So he's resting now in Vishramasana.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Bala. As Bala and Kirti and Tanishk have made it, you can make yoga your family enjoyment as well as family learning experience. Thank you. Next sadhaka that I'd like to invite is Balaji Iyengar. Balaji will introduce himself.
Namaste everyone, I am Balaji Iyengar. I have been practicing yoga under Raviji's guidance for the past 6 years. I will start off with Surya Namaskar, 3 rounds, third one being a fast one.
Ashwasancharanasana. Dandasana. Ashtanga Pranamasana. Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Parvatasana, mountain pose. Ashwasancharanasana. In each half round, the first 4 steps and the last 4 steps are the same. So there are 8 different asanas in Surya Namaskar. So it's moving dynamically to round, second half round. Taking the left leg back now. Dandasana, Ashtanga Pranamasana, Bhujangasana, Parvatasana, Ashwasancharanasana, Padahastasana, Urdhva Hastottanasana, and Namaskar Mudra. as Balaji continues his practice, I would like to mention that Surya Namaskar, doing Surya Namaskar 3 to 6 rounds even in the morning each day is like charging your battery. So you will feel the difference, and you will be taken into a higher energy state. So normally what I say in class is that when we come to the class, we are all in tamasic state. We have just got up from sleep. We do our class in the early mornings, tamasic state, and then we put in a good amount of rajasic energy to reach the sattvic state. And this sattvic state can be maintained. If you do Surya Namaskar in the morning every day, you can maintain the sattvic energy state, enjoying the state throughout the day. And of course, good health follows from that as well. Bhujangasana. Parvatasana.
Round 3, faster.
Round 3 will be a fast round. Making the last round the fast round helps in balancing the energies that I talked about earlier and completes the practice. Relaxing now after Surya Namaskar. Going to Balasana.
Shavasana.
Shavasana, to calm the breathing and to relax.
Anantasana.
So rolling over to the left side and doing Anantasana. Repeating on the other side.
Gandharasana.
Gandharasana. You can see his body weight now rests on the back of the head, shoulders and back of the arms. Holding up the lower body with his hands. Short Shavasana again. the left side. Sit up.
And do one standing asana, the Virabhadrasana, 2 sequence.
Virabhadrasana number 2.
Go on to the sitting asanas. We'll start with Bhujangasana.
So he's going to lie down now. In the prone position, he will do Bhujangasana. Although Bhujangasana is part of Surya Namaskar, it is an asana in its own right. And there you can see they'll get the full effect. Because Surya Namaskar it is done as a sequence. But when you do it on its own, you get the full effect of the asana. Bhujangasana, if you remember, it's a backward bending asana. Back muscles are contracting, the front are stretching.
Resting briefly in Makarasana.
Resting in crocodile pose, Makarasana. And next you will do Tiryaka Bhujangasana, which is swaying cobra pose. So you can see his feet are actually separated by a few inches. And he's in Bhujangasana position and he's twisting his neck and head so that he can look at the heel or the opposite heel. This is actually one of the poses in Shankha Prakshalana Kriya, the Hatha Yoga Kriya. Very important position, an advanced position. Balaji is exhaling as he turns to look at the side, and then inhaling back to center where he focuses on the spot between the eyebrows, the Bhrumadhya spot, and then he exhales and he looks at the other side, and now he's resting in Makarasana.
Shishasana.
Janu Shishasana is the next asana Balaji is going to do. It's a forward bending asana with one knee bent. And you've seen this asana done by others, but and maybe you've seen it at different, people are doing it different ways. It is not different ways. We allow in advanced class especially for people to do at their own level and make certain modifications that suit their body or the limitations that everybody has. So that is quite alright. We encourage that. So Janu Shishasana, forward bending asana. So he's stretching forward, getting a good hold on the toes.
Matsyendrasana.
Ardha Matsyendrasana. Yoga has to be done at your own physical level, according to your ability and respecting the limitations that people have. Only then it can be sustainable. You can see this is a twisting asana, spine is twisting, and you can see how he has maintained his spine in almost a vertical axis, which is what is needed here. By keeping the hand, his right hand is close to the hips. It's not too far away. If you keep it far away, then your spine becomes inclined, and then you don't get the same effect. Counter twist. And now repeating on the other side. You can see the chin mudra that he has on his right hand. Counter twist.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you, Balaji. I believe we have one participant left, and he's coming. Next we have Bhudev Sharmaji. He will introduce himself.
Namaste, I am Bhudev Sharma, and I have been with Bharathi Yoga classes for close to 3 years. I was inspired to join the classes by a story from my friend who described the miraculous treatment of cure of ailment, back ailment, and that's how I thought I will join this class. I was already considering. So I joined the yoga classes about 3 years back, and at that time I had my own backache because of years of sitting across the computer, and I soon realized that I never had that backache. I in fact forgot about it, and to the extent that I didn't even remember to tell Vijay that I no longer have backache, until about a year back when I told him. So thank you. I'll be doing Surya Namaskar and a couple of other asanas today. So I begin with Surya Namaskar.
We always start our yoga classes with Surya Namaskar. Once again, there are 12 steps and 2 half rounds, making it a total of 24 steps in one round.
Urdhva-Hastottanasana, Adhastasana, Ashvasancharanasana, Dandasana, Ashtanga Pranamasana, Bhujangasana, Parvatasana, back in Ashvasancharanasana, back in Padahastasana, back in Urdhva-Hastottanasana, and dynamically moving into Padahastasana, with the left leg going back this time. When the left leg goes back, that's the leg that comes forward as well. Dandasana, Ashtanga Pranamasana, Bhujangasana, Parvatasana, Ashvasancharanasana, Padahastasana, Urdhva-Hastottanasana, and Namaskar Mudra. So Guruji now going to relax in Balasana to slow down the breath and to relax the body. Going into Shavasana now to relax.
And to Anantasana.
Anantasana. So the reason you see many students doing this same routine is that's what we practice in our advanced class. Currently we are doing this. We've also done Supta Hastapada Mushtasana before, but Anantasana is what we practice now, and Gandharasana, of course, to finishing that. Gandharasana.
And we're doing the Trikonasana now.
Uddhita Trikonasana. He's doing a shorter version today, but normally we maintain it for a longer time. Inhaling coming up, Uttanta, back in Namaskar Mudra. Uddhavji is now doing the Dandasana sequence. In stage 2 now, called Padangushta Dandasana. You can see the muscles, he's holding the big toes of the 2 feet. His arms and legs are fully stretched, back is straight. And the muscles of the back are are stretching, as well as the muscles back of the thighs and back of the legs are stretching. He's now going into stage 3, Paschimottanasana, which is an intense forward stretch. Returning to stage 2. Ardha Matsyendrasana again. Asana, it energizes the Manipura chakra. And the digestive system. Repeating on the other side. Twist.
I do the Shirsasana with support from wall.
So Bhudevji now going to do the headstand Shirshasana with wall support. So you saw earlier Ravi Vagunta doing Shirshasana without support. Ravi has been practicing for a while and has learned to do it without support. When we start Shirshasana practice, and Shirshasana practice is only done after several years of yoga practice, we always start in the corner. Bhudevji started in the corner, but now he has graduated to the wall. So these are all stages. First the corner, then the straight wall. And you can see he's doing Shirshasana. Again, balancing on the head with support of the wall. But still, the effects of this asana are still being realized by him. Now his feet are off the wall, so he's no longer supported by the wall. Coming out of the asana. He's doing the dog stretch, so remember Ravi Vagunta also did that. Resting.
Halasana.
Halasana is plow pose. It's part of the immersion sequence. Bhudevji is doing the Sampurna Halasana, the full plow pose, where the toes are resting on the mat and the hands, they were on the mat, toes on the floor. Now he's doing Salamba Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. This is where the chin lock is formed between the chest and the chin. And the lower body is lifted straight up with the chin and the toes in alignment. He's doing Titri in Sarvangasana. Prasarita Pada position in Garudasana leg position. Pavanamuktasana. One side, now the other side. Now both legs are bent and he's doing Pavanamuktasana. Tiryaka Bhujangasana. You saw Balaji also do this, so you'll see it again. So you can see his feet are separated by about 6 inches. Hands are under the shoulders, forehead resting on the mat, and now he'll go into Bhujangasana. So the hands are pushing into the mat, and his back is in a backward bend position, and then he's twisting his head and neck, and the shoulder muscles also. So once again, he will be exhaling as he turns to one side, inhaling back to center and focus on the Bhumadhyas part, exhaling as he goes to the other side. Inhaling back to center, exhaling to the side, that's all. Tiryaka Bhujangasana. Makarasana. Makarasana is a crocodile pose. It's a relaxation pose after Bhujangasana or Tiryaka Bhujangasana.
Next I'll do camel pose.
Ustrasana. The key in this pose is expanding and opening both the pelvic girdle and the pectoral girdle, the shoulder girdle areas. Now you can see he's leaning back, holding the heels. This is an advanced position. It's not easy to do, and I wouldn't encourage anyone to do it unless they have been trained or have been specially taught how to do this. You can see his thighs are vertical, chest area is fully expanded, hips are fully expanded as well, head and neck bent so that he's looking straight at the ceiling. Coming out of the asana, again, very important to come out correctly. He is going to do Marjariyasana. Resting Shashakasana.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
as well. Just a quick word about the schedule for today. So we'll be finishing off now. And then after that, 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. on the Hindu Center Cultural Channel, we will be showing the video broadcast of the students who have sent in the videos. There are, I believe, 11 individual videos, and they will be shown pretty much back to back. So I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone, and especially I would like to thank Mr. Bharathi who put all this together. Thank you very much, and was responsible for the live streaming today. I'm lost when it comes to these technologies, but he knows exactly what he's doing, so I'm so happy for that. And what I would like to do now is to invite Balaji to come and maybe have a vote of thanks. Give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. At the outset, thank you very much for inviting me to participate and for organizing all of this. I think it's been a splendid event, and again, special thanks to Kedar, Mr. Bharathi, and all the student volunteers as well as the participants, as well as the virtual participants. I really think, and I can speak from personal experience, right? I have been very privileged to be a part of Raviji's classes for the past 6 years, and as a long-standing sufferer of allergies, I can personally say that it's had a pretty profound, uplifting and a very energizing effect on me, on my physical, mental and spiritual health. I have seen a direct effect on my breathing, my lung capacity, strength, stamina, muscle tone, and most importantly, I think, my clarity of thought and my equanimity. So I would personally strongly encourage incorporating yoga as a part of one's daily living, and I am very sure that you'll see the beneficial effects of that. And once again, I'm immensely grateful to both HCV, Ravi, and all my fellow colleagues for making this happen. I hope all of you, enjoyed the session, and look forward to the afternoon session. Wish all of you a very blissful